a good night on the WFAN New
York. Rewards credit card. Well, Alex Colomé is taking his warm-up pitches right now. He's had 2 starts. He's 2-0 ERA of 1.80. He's pitched very well since going into the starting rotation. Pitched well up in Boston. Last time out against Boston, it was here. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. Throws hard and has all 4 pitches, fastball, slider, curveball, and change. Will throw probably half fastballs and then split the other 50% with all of the 3 other pitches. And for the Yankees, Jacoby Ellsbury gets the night off. Nothing wrong. It's just the turf, and it's the start of a long stretch, they don't get an off day till they hit Washington a week from, today. And Gardner will lead off, and Chris Young, who is going to replace, when anybody gets a day off, they will put Chris Young there and not move people around. That's what Joe Girardi said. It just makes it easier on everybody so that there's only one guy who's moving around and everybody else is staying where they have played all year. So Chris Young is in tonight playing center field for Jacoby Ellsbury. I think Carlos Beltran will get a day off here soon. Brett Gardner will get a day off here soon. But here we go. And as Brett Gardner steps up to the plate, stepping up to the microphone is the voice of the New York Yankees. Here is John Sterling.
Well, Susan, I thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone. The Yankees have won 5 out of 6 against Tampa. They play 4 straight night games here, and they obviously hope to keep it up. The Yankees have a 3-game lead in first place over Tampa. So here is Brett Gardner moving up to be the leadoff hitter with Beltran in back of him against the hard-throwing right-hander Alex Colomé. Gardner at .313, 2 homers, 13 RBIs, and the first pitch is in there.
First pitch, 7-12.
For a strike.
72 degrees inside Tropicana Field, 85 degrees outside St. Petersburg.
It'll be an 0-1 to Gardner, a left-hand hitter. And the pitch is just outside 1-1. Colomé getting a chance. He's a big-time prospect, getting a chance because of all the injuries to this pitching staff. There are 3 starters out right now, and figure to have that all year long. The 1-1 is swung on, hit in the air to left field. Cutting toward the line is Joey Butler, and right on the line he makes the catch. And there is 1 away. You know, I took a note from the Yankee notes compiled by their media relations director, Jason Zillow. Just one other statement about Gardner and Ellsbury. You don't need them. You know how great they've been. But in their last 14 games, the great table set is Gardner and Ellsbury have hit .381. Here's Beltran. 3 infielders on the right side. And there's a strike. The shortstop, Cabrera, remains on the left side. They've hit .381, and the Yankees in those 14 games are 10-4. But I'm sure you know it. That's been one of the big reasons why the Yankees were in first place. Beltran has started to hit, thank goodness. The 0-1 is cut on and fouled off. That was a slider in. Carlos at .210, a homer, 13 RBIs. He's had a lot of big RBIs of late, and of course yesterday hit his first home run.
Got a 3-game hitting streak. He was 2 for 2 on base on all 4 plate appearances yesterday. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is. If he starts to hit, John, it changes a lot in this lineup.
It does indeed. The 0-2 is cut on a miss. Struck him out swinging. A change away. So there are 2 down. And here is A-Rod. He's at .240. 7 homers and 19 RBIs. Now 3 infielders shift to the left side, leaving Aloney on the right side. Colomé, and the right-hander to the wide, and the pitch is low, 1-0. Colomé, 2 games and starts, 10 innings, 7 hits, and a stat that you have to love: no walks and 10 strikeouts. His ERA is 1.80. He's going to get a chance, obviously. He's got a good arm. The 1-0 pitch is outside. Alex Cobb, Matt Moore, and Drew Smiley, 3 starters are all out. Probably Smiley. Cobb for sure is getting Tommy John out for the year. Moore may come back somewhere around July. He's coming off Tommy John. It'll be a 2-0 to Alex. From Alex. And the pitch, there's a strike. And the count 2-1.
And Drew Smiley, John, they were confirmed today, a second MRI, that he's got a torn labrum. You don't come back from that without surgery usually, but there are all kinds of things they try and do now. He hasn't decided what he wants to do, but a torn labrum, it doesn't repair itself.
Here comes the 2-1 from Colomé. And the pitch is swung on. There it goes to deep left. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Alex Rodriguez drives one in the left field seats. It is an A-bomb from A-Rod. And the Yankees take a 1-0 lead.
And there's his 8th homer of the season, homer number 662, and that was a bomb. And Joey Butler just stood there and turned around and looked at it. 96-mile-an-hour fastball that, Alex, you could hear that. You didn't have to be told anything like exit velo. Boy, was that a shot.
And, you know, this is the place where he hit one 473. Remember that?
Right into that loading dock area. Wow.
Wow, what a shot by A-Rod. So 8 homers, 20 RBIs. And here is Teixeira. And the pitch is a strike. A-Rod home run was, of course, the Ballantine blast of the game, brought to you by Ballantine IPA, America's original IPA. Taste a piece of craft beer history. You heard Joe tell Susan, here is the 0-1, cut on him, that Sabathia needs to get a lead. The Yankees have only scored 13 runs in his 6 starts, so it's not a lot, but there's a run lead. Teixeira at 212, 10 homers, 25 RBIs. And the pitch is low. I guess, Susan, the rumor finally has been dispelled and put to bed that he's not going to be able to hit fastballs.
Right, 96 in was that one.
And boy, you're not going to hit it any harder than that. That was gone as he swung the bat.
There's something about a sound, that kind of sound off of the bat, which is pretty exciting, fabulous.
And it'll be a 1-2 to Teixeira. And he fouls it home plate. And also, the sound won't exactly be drowned out by the people in the stands. It is a somewhat slim turnout.
Yeah, and there are 10 or 11 people.
Yeah. As someone told me, you think this is small, wait till tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, the Tampa Bay Lightning play Montreal in Tampa and a chance to wrap up the series. And if they lose, it goes back to Montreal for Game 7. So a lot of interest in that tomorrow night. Here's the 1-2 to Tex. And the pitch line toward the middle and grabbed at second. Actually at short by Longoria. So that is a soft line drive to the third baseman. And the Yankees take the 1-0 lead. 1 run, 1 hit. A-Rod's home run, no one left. At the end of a half, the Yankees won and Tampa coming to bat. On the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Salino and Barnes reminds you this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Salino and Barnes is one of the nation's largest personal injury firms. Call 800-888-8888. Salino and Barnes, offices in Manhattan and Long Island.
Sabathia's first pitch is fouled out of play by Brandon Guyer. Guyer, a right-hand hitting outfielder at 294, 2 homers and 11 RBIs. Tampa has inserted 8 right-hand hitters against the lefty. And the pitch is high. The only lefty hitter is James Loney, who hits lefties very well. And the guy who bats in back of him, Asdrubal Cabrera, is a switch hitter. The rest of it, just right-handed against CeCe. Here is the 1-1. The pitch is high. And the count 2-1. Tampa is one of those teams that currently has only 3 guys on the bench. They carry 13 pitchers. So Sabathia behind 2-1 to the right-hand hitting Guyer. And the pitch outside, 3-1. CC is 0-5 and an ERA of 5.45. 6 games and starts, 38 innings, 47 hits. He's walked only 8, which is really very good. Struck out 29. The 3-1 is outside ball 4. Well, there's a walk. So Geyer walks.
Geyer bats leadoff every time there's a lefty on the mound. He's started all games against lefties leading off.
And that was the first walk of the game. Just walk into any of City MD's convenient locations. See a board-certified physician. You'll never need an appointment. City MD, feel better faster. Here's the right fielder, Steven Souza, and he takes high. Souza at just .215, but 5 homers and 14 RBIs. Yankees have a 1-0 lead on A-Rod's long home run to left. Geyer with the lead, and Sabathia with the pitch, and the breaking ball's inside, and the count 2-0. So CC, who normally does nothing but throw strikes, has thrown 6 out of 7 out of the strike zone.
Fastballs are up and away, and he's just bouncing those breaking pitches. So McCann goes out and is talking and walked the ball back to him, then threw that ball into the dugout, try and use a new ball.
That'll be a 2-0 to Souza, a right-hand hitter with power. Geyer about a 3-step lead at first, and the pitch is inside, and the count 3-0. This is a very odd beginning for Sabathia. I mentioned his walks. His walks are less than 2 per 9, and here he's 1 pitch away from walking the first 2 batters of the game. The 3-0 is low, and he's missing a lot. They're easy to call. It's not like he's just missing. So back-to-back walks open the game. A terrible way for Sabathia to start the game.
J.D. Gregorius going over and talked to Sabathia as he's bending over getting some dirt. J.D. just picked up the rosin bag and patted him on the back and went back to shortstop.
The first pitch tonight from Colomé was 93 miles an hour. Choosing the pitcher is important. Your choices matter too. Please drive responsibly. A reminder from the New York City Department of Transportation and the Vision Zero Initiative. If that wasn't bad enough, here's Longoria. And the breaking ball's in for a strike. And Longoria absolutely owns CC. Longoria lifetime is 24 for 58. That's 414, and 6 of them have been home runs. So this is probably the toughest matchup possible for Sabathia. Runners lead first and second, no one out on 2 straight walks, and the 0-1 is low outside, and the count is 1-1.
Well, got that fastball up to 92. He's trying to paint the outside corner with it, but it was low.
Overall, Longoria at 292, 4 homers and 12 RBIs. Runners lead, and the pitch is low. A change away, and they count 2-1.
Still trying to hit that outside corner. Hasn't hit it yet.
I mean, I know you can't predict baseball, but no one would have predicted this. One thing Sabathia does is throw strikes. Behind Longoria, 2-1. Runners lead, and the pitch is strike at the knees, and the count 2-2. They got that fastball at 91. 91-92, with his knowledge and his competitiveness and other pitchers, he can win that way. He hasn't, but he can. Oh, here comes the 2-2 to Longoria. And the pitch is swung on and popped him up to center field. Chris Young stays in back of it, now approaches it and fires toward third, and it is offline, so both runners move up. It was a terrible throw by Young. If you don't have enough arm to get it to third base, you got to throw it to second, so the other runner stays at first, and you keep the double play intact. That was a terrible throw. Headley had to leave third and run toward shortstop on the outfield part of the turf to grab it. So second and third and 1 out, and the little fly ball becomes a great fly ball for Tampa.
You know, John, that was really strange because Didi Gregorius had run out. He was in line with second base, figuring the throw was going to come in from Young right to him at second, and then he ran to the left, and meanwhile it bounced next to him, and as you said, Chase Headley had to go and get it. It's just a mental mistake by Chris Young in center field.
Yeah, terrible. Now, second and third, 1 out. Yankees play the middle of the infield back. So a ground ball in the middle will tie the game. Right-hand hitting Logan Forsythe takes inside. Forsythe at .286, 2 homers, 12 RBIs. And maybe he's hitting cleanup. They don't have a great lineup. But he might be hitting cleanup tonight because he's 4 for 9 with a home run off Sabathia. That may be the reason, or he's maybe the best option. So it'll be a 1-0 to Forsythe. Runners lead second and third, 1 out. Pitch. There's a breaking ball strike. And the count 1-1. You really have to throw the ball to second base, period. The guy from first base will not run if the ball comes towards second. See, and that would have kept the double play intact. Now here comes the 1-1. Fastball missed outside, 2-1. On deck is a rookie we've never seen, a right-hand hitter named Joey Butler,
who actually played with Kevin Cash at Round Rock in his last year with Texas. And I asked about Logan Forsythe, and he's batted cleanup and DH quite a few times.
So it'll be a 2-1 as runners lead second and third. Pitch is swung on and hit in the air to left. That gets the run in. Gardner on the run, and he can't make the catch. It goes by him to the wall. The runner is coming around. The throw from Gregorius home is going to be in time. So Souza is out as he tried to score on the double by Forsythe to the left center field wall. The throw to McCann from Didi made a great relay throw. The throw to McCann had him by yards, and what happened is Souza kind of slid around him, but didn't come near home plate, so McCann went after him and tagged him. So it's a double and RBI, and we're all tied at 1. And Souza is out 7-6-2.
And Kevin Cash talked to home plate umpire Eric Cooper. The official scorer gave him a single and went to second on the throw in. I don't know. I thought he should have had a double.
Well, I write down what I write down. I score the game myself. That's ridiculous. That ball went to the left center field wall. I could have had a double on that. And I can't run a lick. So now the umpires are going to look and see if McCann tagged him or if Souza, when he slid by, touched the plate. It didn't look like it, did it?
No, it didn't look like Souza was anywhere near the plate. But they are now reviewing this play, and the instant replay review is sponsored by Sands Casino, closer than you think. Now
I would gather that what they're looking at, did Souza, as he went around the home plate, McCann had the ball, and he went around him. And so, Susan, let's look at it.
We'll take a look at it.
The block at home plate.
Oh, they're challenging the block. They're challenging that McCann blocked the plate, so Souza had to go around it. Well, he's in front of the...
Go?
Yeah.
I think that is ridiculous. Where are you going to go?
He didn't have the ball. You can't block the plate if you don't have the ball.
But then he caught the ball. You want to be in front of the plate to get the runner.
The rule is you can't block the plate if you don't have the ball. You have to give him a lane, and then when you get the ball, you can move in front. Let's see if there's a lane. We're seeing it from a different angle. McCann now has given him it. We're looking at it. See, he doesn't give him a lane to.
Oh, but he was there to catch the ball.
And they're upholding it, and he is out.
What would the catcher do? Stand way off the plate and say, please score? he had plenty of time if McCann didn't have the ball to get to home plate, but McCann had the ball to tag him. So anyway, the guy who made the play was Didi. He made a throw from shallow left field, and he threw a line drive on one hop to McCann. Well, here's Joey Butler, a right-hand hitter with 2 outs, a run in, a runner at second, and the pitch is outside. Now, how you could call that a single, I don't know. The ball was hit by Forsythe to the left center field wall, went past Gardner, and actually went to the wall. Who wouldn't get second on that? So, but anyway, I don't understand a lot of scoring rules. It'll be a 1-0 to Butler. And the pitch fouled away. Butler is like a career minor leaguer. He's not young. He's young to me because he's 29. He played a little bit in Japan last year. And to the big club, he's 5 for 24 with a homer and 4 RBIs. So you give Forsythe an RBI, and the ball game is tied at 1. And the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. About the catcher and all, I can understand you're not allowed to block the plate. You don't have the ball, and the runner can't get there. But the throw is coming in. Where's he supposed to go? Into the dugout? Let the run score? And he's got to come up to protect the plate. That's the whole point of it. So it'll be a 1-2 to Butler. And the pitch low, and the count 2-2.
There's Joey Butler, as I said, played with Kevin Cash in Cash's last stop in Round Rock. That's the AAA franchise for the Texas Rangers.
It'll be a 2-2 to Butler. The pitch is cut on a miss. High fastball struck him out swinging. However, the 2 walks lead to a run. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 left. And at the end of 1 inning of play, tied at 1. On the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
66 and 1019 FM, WFAN, New York.
John Sterling, Susan Waldman back at Tropicana. Here's Brian McCann to lead off for the Yankees, the lefty hitting catcher. McCann at .242, 4 homers, 18 RBIs. So we're tied at 1. 3 infielders on the right side. Cabrera remains on the left side. And Colomé deals. Oh, there's a strike. When Joey Butler struck out to end the bottom of the first, that was the first strikeout of the game for CC. And the 0-1 pitch outside. And Winthrop University Hospital reminds you they strike out cancer with their CyberKnife technology. Winthrop University Hospital, your health means everything. It'll be a 1-1. Hit on the ground to first. Loney will take it himself, 1 away.
Scoreboard update is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers on the web at searchmercedes.com. Not that many games on this Monday evening. In Baltimore, Baltimore's leading Toronto 3-0, bottom of the first. Homers by Manny Machado and Chris Davis off of Marco Estrada. Ubaldo Jimenez going for Baltimore.
Now, here's Chase Headley. And there's a good fastball strike from Colomé.
White Sox in Milwaukee, no score, bottom of the first. Jeff Samardzija against Willie Peralta. It'll be Kansas City at Texas in a little while. Danny Duffy against Colby Lewis. And
there's the 0-1. Breaking ball missed, backdoor breaking ball, 1-1.
And Boston is out in Oakland. Rick Porcello against Scott Kazmir. Boston is 3-7 in their last 10, and Oakland has lost 5 in a row.
It'll be a 1-1 to Headley, and the right-hander deals, swung on, and little fly ball to shallow left. Coming in is Butler to make the catch. 2 away.
Philadelphia leading Pittsburgh 1-0, top of the second. Garrett Cole against Jerome Williams. Atlanta, who's lost 3 in a row, is in Cincinnati. It is raining in Cincinnati. We'll keep you updated on that. Shelby Miller against Mike Leake if it starts. Mets are in Chicago to play the Cubs. Jacob deGrom against John Lester. That's a good one there. Washington is Arizona. Max Scherzer against Josh Collmenter. And Miami's out at the Dodgers. Tom Kohler against Zach Greinke. Zach Greinke has not lost yet. He's 5-0 with a 1.56 ERA.
Pretty good. Here's Chris Young with 2 outs and no one on, a right-hand hitter. 3 infielders on the left side. And Young takes a pitch low. Chris has been a terrific 4th outfielder, and he's getting his at-bats. He has 72 at-bats, and he's hitting .306 with 6 homers and 12 RBIs. Now the 1-0 swung on a high pop, a mile high in the infield. Longoria on the third base foul line makes the catch and back at third. So a very strong inning for Colomé. 1, 2, 3 go the Yanks. At the end of an inning and a half, we're tied at 1 on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Now, here we go to the top of the bottom of the second inning, and the only lefty hitter in the lineup, James Loney. Loney, who started the year on the DL, has had 62 at-bats. Lefty to lefty, and the pitch is strike fastball. He's at 242, 2 homers, 6 RBIs. Loney, for the most part, not affected by lefties. He doesn't take a big swing, looks to make contact. Good line drive type hitter. The 0-1 swung on and lined on one hop to Didi. Didi throws to first, 1 away, just playing in the right spot, and the right spot was about 2 steps on the third base side of second. So it's where you position, and that went right to him, 1 away.
Here's the Samsung Yankees trivia question brought to you by the Samsung Curved SUHD TV, available on Adorama and Adorama.com. What Tampa Bay Rays pitcher gave up Derek Jeter's 300th hit, which happened to be a home run, July 9th, 2011? We were all there. We'll never forget it.
No.
Neither will that pitcher who said his mother was very happy.
Right. Here is Asdrubal Cabrera, a switch hitter batting right, and therein lies the tail. Cabrera takes a strike. Cabrera at 205, a homer, 9 RBIs, but as a right-hand hitter this year, he is 3 for 26. So obviously that average that he has is all from the left side. Here is the 0-1. The pitch is low on the count, 1-1. I would say Sabathia has, recovered. He just happened to walk 2 men. He was off his feet. He couldn't get near the plate, and so he wound up giving up the tying run as a result. Now it looks like he's back throwing strikes. The 1-1 to Cabrera. Swung on, hit on the ground to short. Didi near second, fields and fires in time. 2 away.
John, you can watch on those 2 plays. CC Sabathia has the instinct to try and go and grab that ball and then pulls his arm back. Because when he's trying to do that before, he's missed it, and then no one can make the play in back of him. So good job by CC. Just get out of the way.
Yeah. And I guess what you have to do is look around and see where your infielders are playing. Now, Didi's been playing up the middle for those 2 hitters, so he was right there. Now 2-way, and here is the young second baseman, Tim Beckham. He's a right-hand hitter, and takes high. Beckham at 208, a little bit of pop, 3 homers and 12 RBI. 2 outs, no one on. We're in the bottom of the second. We are tied at 1. And the 1-0. There's strike. I mean, when you go out, you try to win every game. You do have to rest players and not pitch pitches on certain days. But, Susan, this is a very important game for the Yankees for one reason. Chris Archer's pitching tomorrow, and the Yankees normally do not touch Archer. He's a heck of a pitcher. Here is the 1-1, and there's a strike. And that was a change. And the count 1-2.
And you want to get off. This is a long road trip, and you just want to get off on a good start. You really do. You played so well at home, played so well in the last couple of weeks. You don't want there to be a letdown, and Archer, I think, is the best reason to think about winning today.
The 1-2, half swing and a breaking ball. Did he go? Nope. They checked the first base umpire, Adam Hamari. It's so silly, all that noise. There's no one here. It doesn't. All it does, someone with Tampa said, actually it annoys the people. You can't talk to your neighbor. Here's the 2-2, way inside, and the count 3-2.
Yep. Puck Showalter was saying that because when they came down here last week, they were the home team, so they didn't play any of that noise. And Puck had said they didn't play that DJ Kitty thing. We'll let you know when DJ Kitty comes on. It's just horrendous. That's the worst, I think. That screeching.
There's the 3-2. Struck him out swinging. So CeCe has a 1-2-3, a second strikeout. We have played 2 at the Trop. And the ball game's tied at 1 on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
66 and 1019 FM, WFAN New York.
Geico's saving people money on car insurance for over 70 shifts on about every batter. And here they shift on Drew. Other teams do, too. He's a left-hand hitter, 3 infielders on the right side. Drew at 189, 4 homers, 10 RBIs. And the pitch there is a strike right down the pipe.
And here's the answer to today's trivia question, brought to you by the Samsung Curved SUHD TV, available at Adorama. Of course, Tampa Bay ace David Price, he gave up the milestone 3,000th hit to Derek Jeter.
Here's the 1-0, and the pitch is outside. I think that we remember it. Well, first of all, it was the captain's 3,000th hit, but he hit a home run for the 3,000th hit. And a good friend of yours also did that.
Wade Boggs did that.
Yes, sir. Oh, man.
Yep.
It'll be a 1-1 to Drew. And there's a strike. It really is something because neither were home run hitters.
I think that's the great thing about it. That's because Derek wasn't a home run hitter, and Boggs certainly wasn't.
It'll be a 1-2 to Drew. Drew batting 8th. Didi hitting 9th and the top of the order. One thing why the Yankees, here's the 1-2. Grounded foul outside of first. One reason why the Yankees might have done well against Tampa, who knows, you know. But Tampa doesn't have any left-handers. They have one lefty in the bullpen. One. His name is Xavier Cedeno. I mean, it's not like having Randy Johnson in the bullpen. So they only can use him at certain times, and they can't bring him in for a few innings, and they won't have him for the rest of the series. So the Yankees can basically play any left-hand hitter they want. Here is the 1-2 to Drew. And the breaking ball is low. And the count 2-2. That's a hardship to go with one lefty, especially someone who's unproven. You know, I don't know how good he's going to become, but right now he's somewhat unproven.
And so many managers would say they'd rather have no lefties in the pen, not just someone who throws with their left hand.
And the pitch fouled off third base side. Well, I have heard that for years. You know, Joe Torre won a division in Atlanta in '82, and they didn't have any left-handers on the staff. And but I never believed that myself. I know how tough a lefty is on a lefty. If he has, you know, if he's got anything, if he's got any kind of breaking ball at all, you know, lefties have a tough time with it. Well, it'll be a 2-2 to Drew. And the right-hander deals and is foul tip. Oh, there it is. Right under the feet of the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper.
So far, fastball, slider. He's got a nice fastball, 94, 95. That slider was 87. Really good movement.
Susan, what is the relation of this fella to Jesus?
He's his nephew.
And there'll be a 2-2 to Drew. And the pitch cut on him. So Drew strikes out, one away. Jesus Colomé also had a good arm. The Yankees didn't like him because he kept hitting them.
Yep.
He didn't have much control.
He didn't have at all. He was here for 6 years. And out of the bullpen, he started a few games. But I remember he used to hit Derek Jeter every time he was in there.
Here is Didi, who's at 225, no homers and 7 RBIs. We're tied at 1 here in the top of the third. The Yankee run a home run, a long home run by A-Rod. And the pitch is low on the count 1-0. Didi, I think, it's very tough to see something like this, but I think he's starting to relax a little bit. And the 1-0 is foul, third base side out of play. I don't know what he's going to hit or if he's going to hit, but I think he looks a little more relaxed in the field.
Well, the last week or so he has. He still makes some interesting mental mistakes. But I think in getting the ball and just fielding, he seems a lot more relaxed.
Now here is the 1-1. Didi, a left-hand hitter. And the pitch is low on the count, 2-1. Against Colome, the Yankees have 7 lefties in. Pitch hit on the ground to short. Backhanded by Cabrera. The throw is in time. And there are 2 away.
And that was one of those plays when Asdrubal Cabrera got the job over some of the flashier infielders that are on this team. Nick Franklin, for one, well, he got hurt. But Kevin Cash said the reason that he's there is because he makes every play, every regular play. He doesn't have the greatest range anymore. But if it's anywhere near him, he's going to get it. You know, the throw is going to be true. Sometimes there's something to be said about that. He makes all the regular plays.
Very much so. You make the plays you're supposed to make, absolutely. Here's Gardner with 2 outs. Brett fly to left his first time. And takes a fastball strike. And that one was at 95. It used to be a thing, you know, when you'd get a guy who threw 95 or 96. Not a thing anymore. Majors are loaded with guys who do that. Here's the 0-1. And I think a breaking ball, no bite, high anyway, in the count 1-1.
That was a curve that sort of floated up there. 79, that's the first one of those he's thrown.
Now the right-hander is set. Here's the 1-1 to Gardner. Fastball strike, 1-2. We are coming to you live from the Sunoco broadcast booth. Sunoco, save 5 cents on every gallon instantly with your Sunoco Rewards credit card. Now, Colome will deal 1-2 to Gardner. And the pitch hit in the air to deep left center. Butler going back and over and makes the catch to end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Yanks at the end of 2.5. We're tied at 1 on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network driven by Jeep. Now we go to the bottom of the third. Here's the catcher, the 9th hitter, right-hand hitting Rene Rivera. Rivera hitting at only 135 with a homer, 5 RBIs. We're tied at 1 as we hit the bottom of the third. CC deals, hit on the ground to short. Didi boots it and fires just in time to get him. 1 away. Well, Rivera might have been carrying a piano on his back down the line. I mean, not only did Didi boot it, but it rolled about 5 feet away. But he got it and threw him out. One down. It's good after I said he looks more at ease.
Well, you got him nervous. You said he wouldn't look to it. I was trying to think, is he slower than Jose Molina? He might be.
Boy, he could be. I mean,
wow.
That's in the Matt Noakes ballot of slowness. Well, 1 away.
Matt Noakes.
1 away. And here is Brandon Guyer, who walked his first time and scored, and the pitch is high, 1-0.
Kickoff Memorial Day weekend at the stadium on Friday, May 22nd, when the Yankees take on the Rangers. All guests in attendance receive a Yankees reusable tote bag, courtesy of MLB Network. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com.
Now here's the 1-0 to Guyer. Foul straight back. And the count 1. And 1.
See, the noise only comes when the home team is up. When the visiting team is up, it's like a library in here.
Here's the 1-1. Fouled off. How many years have they been in the league? That's as many years as I've been talking about that. I can't even remember when they came in. Funny. That'll be 1-2. They in Colorado came in when we had that. What year was that, Susan? When they had the replacements. The 1-2 struck him out swinging, high fastball out of the zone. Third strikeout for CC. So that was 95.
It had to be 95, yeah, because the strike was 94.
And you know how I remember that? Because the Yankees christened the new ballpark in Colorado, and we should have known something if they were replacement players. You couldn't tell that the ball flew up because they couldn't hit a home run.
That's
There was not a home run hit in the two games.
I remember that.
The two-way, here's Souza. When Gardner flying out to left to end the top of the third, that was the 15th out of the game. Brought to you by Breaking Ball Strike. And 15 minutes could save you. Here's the 0-1. Pitch outside 1-1.
You know, I remember most about that spring training. It was in Fort Lauderdale then.
Right.
And
the 1-1. Souza lays off a high fastball 2-1.
I guess it was Drayton McLean who owned the Houston at the time.
Right.
And they were still in Kissimmee, and I remember him standing behind the cage and saying, "See, you really can't tell the difference."
Oh, boy.
It was
Boy.
And they had uniforms on. They were hitting the ball, sort of.
Sort of.
Oh.
There's the 2-1. Pitch is strike. You know, when all these leagues began, World Hockey, which I did, ABA, which I did, the AFL and all, the one thing they had was offense, because defense takes a while to learn. But in baseball, the replacements couldn't hit. No power at all. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball, strike 3. Beautiful backdoor breaking ball. Caught Souza looking. 4 strikeouts for Karsten Charles. 3 up and 3 down at the end of 3 innings of play. We're tied at 1 on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
On Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM, WFAN New York.
10-second station ID on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network.
WFAN FM New York.
John Sterling, Susan Waldman back at Tropicana to the 4th. Beltran lines up base hit in the left center field. Cutting over is Geyer to field and throw in. You know, Susan made a mention in the first inning that if Beltran really would start to hit, how it would change the Yankee lineup. It really is true. You have Ellsbury and Gardner, the table setters. This fella being booed, Alex Rodriguez, and Teixeira with the power. And then if McCann and Beltran hit like McCann and Beltran, now you're talking about a pretty good lineup and a pretty deep lineup. Well, here's A-Rod, who homered to deep left his first time. 3 infielders on the left side. And the pitch is a breaking ball strike.
Scoreboard update brought to you by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees since 2008. Amazing things are happening here in Baltimore. Baltimore's hanging on to a 3-0 lead over Toronto. They're in the bottom of the third. Marco Estrada against Ubaldo Jimenez. Machado and Davis have homered.
Here's the 0-1 to Alex. And he pops it foul, first base side out of play.
Milwaukee scored 3 in the first and 2 in the second off of Jeff Samardzija. They lead the White Sox 5-0 as they go to the third. Willie Peralta going for Milwaukee. Kansas City's at Texas in a couple of minutes. Danny Duffy against Colby Lewis. And later on, Boston's at Oakland. Rick Porcello against Scott Kazmir.
Now, A-Rod behind on the count 0-2. Beltran with a couple of step lead at first base, held on by Loney. And the 0-2 struck him out swinging, slided down and away, 1 down.
Pittsburgh leading Philadelphia 3-1, bottom of the third. Starling Marte had his 8th homer of the year, a 3-run shot in the third inning. Garrett Cole against Jerome Williams. It is raining in Cincinnati. If they play it, it's Atlanta at Cincinnati. Shelby Miller against Mike Leake. It'll be Jacob deGrom against John Lester as the Mets are playing the Cubs. That about to get underway. Washington's at Arizona. A little while. Also, Miami's out in L.A. to play the Dodgers.
Here's Mark Teixeira, 1 on and 1 out. And the pitch cut on him. Teixeira lined out to Longoria very softly. Longoria is the first player on the infield shift. He's on the first base side of second, just. That'll be an 0-1 to Tex. Beltran, the runner at first with 1 out. And the pitch low. Nice block by Rivera, breaking ball in the dirt. Hey, Susan, why don't you tell everyone about Tanaka.
Oh, yes. I did it in pregame, but in case you weren't listening to our brilliant pregame with John's Who's Hot and Who's Not, and this date in Yankees history, and all those wonderful things.
Yeah.
Tanaka is going to throw a full bullpen tomorrow. He threw today on flat ground. His catcher was Larry Rothschild, by the way. And he's going to throw his first bullpen up on a mound and everything tomorrow, so that's a big day.
The 1-1. Swung on and line toward the gap in right center field. On the run, a base hit in front of Geyer. Going to third is Beltran. Beltran was running all the way. So good recognition. Tampa lost the game yesterday because Forsythe on second didn't run on a blue pit to center field. And only could get to third, and they never scored him. So Beltran was off, and that was close to Geyer. So Teixeira gets a base hit. First and third, one out. Now, fly ball by McCann would tie it up. You know, I agree with you. That is a big day for Tanaka and the Yanks.
It is. And actually, after he threw, he's always talked after he's thrown. And he asked if he could wait until tomorrow after the bullpen to meet all the media. You know, there's, I bet there's 30 members of the Japanese media here. And, you know, of course, us that are there every single day. And he said, just let me throw tomorrow, then I'll talk.
First and third, one out. McCann grounded out his first time. The pitch is outside. The reason I think it's so big, and I guess it's the reason, if he throws a bullpen and he doesn't feel any pain, well, throwing a bullpen is like pitching. You're on a mound, etc. I mean, I know it'll be a while before he pitches, but that would be a big first step. And there is the 1-0 to McCann. And the pitch grounded foul. And Susan will certainly have that story for you tomorrow.
Yep, and it is, because if it's so far so good. So John, let's do this. We'll use it as the health update. The Recovery Room Health Update, sponsored by New York Presbyterian, the official hospital of the New York Yankees. Amazing things are happening here, and the good news about it, John, is that he has felt no pain, nothing in the wrist, nothing in the forearm. So far so good. And if he gets up to the mound and throws a bullpen, then 5 days later, maybe a simulated game. 5 days later, another step, and then maybe he's back.
The 1-1 is pop foul off third. Longoria, right on the line, makes the catch. And there are two ways. So McCann tried to get the ball in the air, but just did a pop up right behind third. And there are two-way, and that'll bring up Chase Headley. The top of the fourth inning is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. The pizza with the best toppings. Domino's, the official pizza of the New York Yankees radio network. Look, it changes all the time. It's such a long season and so many things happen. But right now, a lot of people, scouts, etc., covering these games, think the Yankees do have the best team in the East. And if Tanaka and Pineda were together at the top, they might very well be true. The pitch to Headley. Line deep to right field. On its way, it is gone! Chase Headley hit a bullet 3-run home run in the right field seats. Oh, you can bank on Chase. Headley is deadly. He drills a 3-run home run, and the Yankees take a 4-1 lead.
Now, the thing that's amazing about that, John, he was 0 for 3 in Sunday's win. He's 7 in his last 33. He's got a very self-deprecating sense of humor, and he's walking out to today and talking about the way he's been hitting, and he said, I couldn't hit this, or I couldn't hit this, and the way I've been hitting, I can't do anything, and there we go. Look at that. So that probably makes him feel a lot better.
Oh, I bet it does. A 3-run home run, as Earl Weaver would say, the best play in baseball. So now Sabathia has a lead. 3 runs, good lead. Here's Young, and he swings and fouls it down the left field line out of play. For Headley, his 4th homer, he has 13 RBIs. So that's how important Tanaka is, and obviously we'll follow the story on a daily basis, but that'll be an 0-1 to Chris Young. Young popped to third his first time.
Well, here's the good thing about that. The Yankees are playing some pretty good baseball, and their pitching has been terrific. So you don't need to rush him back. It's not like you're in a desperate thing where he's got to get back and got to get back.
Here is the 0-1. Pitch is low. Well, you're right, and obviously there's so much time left. And by the way, there'll be other problems. So if you solve that problem, don't worry about it. There'll be another problem. You play every day.
There's going to be another problem?
I think. The 1-1. Swung on and line to right field. There's a base hit. I have a point. It's a dumb point, but it's mine. You know, we're talking about Colomé, who throws 94, 95. It doesn't mean anything if your ball's in the middle of the plate. And he is. Look at that pitch. And you at these pitches that are being hit. A-Rod's homer, Headley's homer, that base hit by Young. They're in the middle of the plate.
Fastball low, middle. That was middle out. Just went right with it.
So here is Stephen Drew.
I don't think that's a dumb point.
Well, it just means that everybody falls in love with the gun. No more so than the pitchers. And Drew takes a strike, and it's so much more than that. And Greg Maddox proved that. It's so much more than that. It'll be an 0-1 to Drew. He's a left-handed. A 3 infielders on the right side. Now, Headley's mustache is pretty good. That's a real mustache. He doesn't need it. He's a good-looking guy. He doesn't need a mustache, but solidarity. The pitch to Drew is outside in the count 1-1.
I don't think whether they were good-looking or not went into the equation.
No.
When they decided to have solidarity mustaches, because some of them don't look too good.
Right. I agree. It'll be a 1-1 to Drew. Young leads off first base, and the pitch is in the dirt. Young thought about going, did not. Rivera did a good job of keeping it in front of him.
See, that's why you have a catcher like Molina, like Rivera, those guys. If it bounces off, they kind of push it out in front of them so that they can see the ball at all times. Molina used to take great pride in having it bounce off his chest protector so he knew where it was all the time.
Yeah, he used to say, look, I'm big. I'm a wide guy. You can't get the ball by me.
Can't get this ball by me, right.
Here's the 2-1 to Drew. Hit on the ground, stabbed by Colomé. Took a hit away. Throws to first for the out. Well, the Yankees, though, get 3 runs on 4 hits and leave 1. The big blow, of course, Chase Headley's 3-run home run. They just showed the pitch again. It bisected the plate right in the middle. Well, 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 left, and a 3.5, 4-1 Yanks. On the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Just whatever is a problem for many pitchers in the first inning. He just walked 2 guys, didn't come close. There is the 2-1. Grounded to third. Headley backhands and fires across, 1 away.
Well, you know, the interesting thing also about CC going over there saying something to Chase Headley, everyone in this clubhouse wants this man to get a win.
Oh, right. He's very popular. He was a great teammate in every single possible way. And he's a great competitor. And he's actually pitched fairly well in most of his games. Joe pointed out to Susan, they've only scored 13 runs in his 6 starts.
He had that one clunker, but the others, as he said, though.
Pitch, strike.
See, he won't hear any of it. You know, I'd said a couple times ago to him, well, you know, you're not pitching badly. And he said, I'm just pitching well enough to lose.
Yeah, I said something like that after he lost a really tough game, and he said it'll all even out. Here is the 0-1 to Forsythe, and the pitch is low. Forsythe doubled into the left center field gap with 2 on. Geyer scored easily from second, but Souza was thrown out. And what was worse, the runners were at second and third. Here's the 1-1. Pitch low. Gardner was racing back to left center, and Souza went back to tag. And so he was thrown out on a really great relay by Didi from short left center field to home. And that saved a run. Here's the 2-1 to Forsythe. Swung on line to right at Beltran, who not only made the catch, but ducked to get under the lights. I mean, he almost caught the ball sitting down.
Well, he bent down so because the ball goes up and it gets caught in these lights in this awful place in the different catwalks, and you have to get underneath it to see where the ball is when it comes out of the lights.
And that was hit hard. That was a line drive right at him, but he had a ducked down at the last minute. Two-way, here is Butler, who struck out his first time. And Sabathia deals. There's strike on the inside corner of the knees. And if you're wondering, that was 90. And the 0-1. Caught on a miss. There's the breaking ball. The count 0-2. They have two other outfielders on the bench. They have an odd bench. They don't have an infielder. They have two outfielders and a catcher. Here is the 0-2. Pitch inside. But the two outfielders are lefty, David DeJesus and Kevin Kiermaier, so they're starting basically an all-righty team outside of Loney. But you know, it's tough on the manager. You got three guys on the bench. One of them's a catcher who he can't use. Got to keep him in reserve, so not a lot of moves you can make. Here's the 1-2. Strike three called on the inside corner. Sabathia, 5 strikeouts. 3 up, 3 down at the end of 4. It's 4-1 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
And 1019 FM WFAN New York.
Now we go to the top of the 5th inning. The Yankees will send up 9-1-2. Didi, and then Gardner and Beltran. Yanks have a 4-1 lead. A-Rod a solo home run. Chase Headley a 3-run home run. And Sabathia has given up 1 hit, a double. That drove in the Tampa run after 2 walks in the first inning. And since then, he has been well nigh perfect. Now here's the pitch to Didi, and he takes a breaking ball strike from Colome.
10 in a row. Come out to the stadium Saturday, May 23rd, when the Yanks take on the Rangers. First 18,000 guests, 14 and younger, receive a Yankees drawstring backpack courtesy of Kumon. Log on to Yankees.com.
It'll be an 0-1, and the right-hander deals foul back. And the count 0-2. Didi grounded to short his first out. So it'll be an 0-2. And instead of the shifts, everybody is, basically straight away. Guy, the center fielder, plays a few steps over in left center for Didi. Now the 0-2. Struck him out swinging, blew him away. 4th strikeout for Colome. 1 down, and here's Gardner, who has flied out to left twice.
Number 11, Brett Gardner.
That's the sound of the crowd here when they don't play all that noise. Not much sound. Now here's Gardner with 1 out and 0 on.
You can hear the ice cream man, you hear the beer man. Very quiet.
Like spring training.
Yeah.
The pitch to Gardner. Well, there's a strike. The count 0-1. You know what I was saying, too, about only one lefty in the bullpen? When you start a right-hander, the other team puts in their lefty hitters. So your first reliever usually is a lefty. And not here. You have to save him to get that lefty hitter out in a big spot. The 0-1 fouled off. And if you do pitch him, let's say you pitch him tonight, and he pitches great and he pitches 3 innings, well, he probably doesn't pitch again in the rest of the series. So.
Well, they've gone through, this is the 3rd lefty they've had. They had, obviously, Jeff Belvo. He's out for the year. He had surgery. C.J. Riefenhauser was up for a while. He used him like 3-4 days in a row, and then he hurt his shoulder.
Now Colome is set to go. Ahead of Gardner, 0-2. And the pitch is high and tight. Gardner gets out of the way. Goes back to the screen, and the count 1-2. 1 out, no one on. We're in the top of the 5th, and the Yankees have a 4-1 lead. And here's the 1-2. Fouled away. So the count holds 1-2. People still buzzing about Pineda. That's one of the great games you've seen pitched yesterday. He was so dominant. 21 outs. He only pitched 7 innings. He was over 100 pitches. 21 outs and 16 were strikeouts. Here is the 1-2. And the pitch low, and the count 2-2.
And if you didn't hear my interview with him on pregame, he was talking about the addition of the changeup and saying the first time around you can fastball, and then the second time around you need to show them something else. And then if you don't have a third pitch, the third time around, they know what you're going to throw.
2-2. Struck him out swinging 2-way.
And he's worked on that changeup, and it obviously is great for him. He did say that he knew in the bullpen and in the first inning that he had all 3 pitches, and he said it made him so happy. And it's good to see the whole maturation of him as a person and a pitcher. It's wonderful to watch.
And he is becoming a star. He's certainly the Yankees' #1 pitcher. He's 5-0. And one little plus for Colome, as Beltran is in, Carlos is 1 for 2. And swings, drills one to right. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Carlos Beltran. Well, Los is loose. By Beltran in the right field seats. His second in as many days. And Carlos Beltran is ready to really start hitting. He had a bullet line drive in the seats, and the Yankees take a 5-1 lead.
Wow, it's like you want to say, welcome back, Carlos. This is exactly the guy that you knew that you were getting, or you thought you were getting when you signed him. You could see it coming around. Joe Girardi kept saying, it's coming, it's coming. You can see it. And he's really been hitting the ball hard.
He really has. Not just the home runs in the last 2 days. He had a lot of big base hits of late. Here's A-Rod. And the pitch is a strike. I was going to say something nice about Colome. His 2 strikeouts this inning give him 5. And on the year, he has 15 strikeouts and no walks. So that's pretty good. Giving up the long ball tonight, 3 homers. And it'll be an 0-1 to Alex. And the pitch outside. For Beltran, his 2nd home run and his 14th RBI. But in the last, 4 or 5 games, he's gotten a hard hit and an RBI or more in every game. So that really would help the Yankees. Get another slugger in there. The 1-1 is a strike, and the count 1-2.
And it just showed RBIs for switch hitters. He just passed Ted Simmons. That was his 1,390th RBI for switch hitter.
And I think for homers, he's 4th. Just added Teixeira because of the last 2 home runs.
Yeah.
And there is the 1-2. Swung on in line. There's a base hit to left center field. Cutting it off is Geyer. A-Rod is on with a hard base hit to left center field. We did this the other day. That's why we know it, because it was when Teixeira passed Beltran. So the top 3, obviously, Mickey and Eddie Murray and Chipper Jones. And then 2 Yankees, Beltran and Teixeira.
And Alex, that was a good sign for Alex, because that was a slider that he went down and got.
So he's 2 for 3. The Yankees have now given Sabathia a 5-1 lead. And here is Teixeira with a runner at first and 2 outs. Now, the right-hander Colome deals. Breaking ball low, 1-0.
Remember when I was talking to Teixeira after he became 4th, and now it's switched back again, but talking about playing with Chipper Jones and playing with Carlos was really cool for him. Obviously didn't play with Mickey.
The 1-0 lined up the middle. There's a base hit center field. A-Rod goes to second and holds. Geyer fires back in. So another hard base hit. And the Yankees have 2 on and 2 out for McCann.
But the great thing about that conversation, here comes Jim Hickey on the run, the pitching coach of Tampa. I asked him about Eddie Murray growing up in Baltimore, and he said he's a switch hitter because he idolized Eddie Murray growing up as a little boy watching Eddie Murray. That's why he became a switch hitter.
You know, I used to think those Oriole teams were really great, and one of the reasons was the guy is right next to you in the booth. They had 2 home run hitting switch hitters back to back, and there's no way you could pitch up against them. Matchup in Singleton and Murray. They were great.
They were great. And there's like 2 whole generations now that just know Ken Singleton as a Yankee announcer, and before that Montreal, but he was a great hitter. He's got over 2,500 hits.
So here is McCann with 2 on and 2 out. Yankees on the home run ball have a 5-1 lead. A-Rod, Headley, and Beltran. Runners lead, and the pitch is a strike on the outside corner. If you're wondering, there's no one warming in the Tampa bullpen. Well, Colomé is kind of taking one for the team, I guess. It'll be an 0-1. A-Rod off second, Teixeira off first. And the 0-1 swung on and drilled to deep right. Back goes Souza, and he makes the catch right at the wall. Almost, but not quite. So for the Yankees, they tack on another run on 3 hits and leave 2. Now, the end of 4.5 innings of play. It's 5-1 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Like a Tropicana, CC deals. James Loney takes a strike. And being the 5th inning, it is post time, and we bring in George King from the New York Post. The New York Post brings you the best sports in town every day. Well, George, as you have seen, Sabathia deals 0-1 to Loney. Swung on, hit in the air to right. Drifting back is Beltran to make the catch on the track. A few steps from the wall, 1 away. CC just couldn't feel it. The first 2 batters, he didn't even come close. He walked 2. And since then, he's practically retired every single batter.
Yeah, he walked the first 2, and he'd only had walked 8 in his first 6 starts, and since then he's been fine. That was, an explanation we'll find out later, but that whatever he has been this year, it hasn't been for lack of control.
Right. No, not at all. He was averaging about 2 walks per 9. 1 away. Here is Cabrera. He takes a breaking ball strike.
Well, it would be really good for, and everybody was rooting for him to get that first win in that clubhouse. And since that first inning, he's looked awfully good.
And he's getting some support, which hasn't been the case either.
And deals 0-1 to Cabrera. Cuts and misses. And the count 0-2.
Okay, pretty big day tomorrow. A couple of people. Capuano is pitching in Scranton. We'll leave Nova out of this because he's still down in extended spring. But Tanaka throwing a real bullpen. What does that mean exactly, and how close are either one of these to coming back, Capuano or Tanaka?
0-2. Swung on a pop-up to shallow right, and that is going to be dunked in for a base hit. Beltran fields right on the foul line. A little bloop single by Cabrera, and that breaks the skein. 11 straight retired by Sabathia.
As far as Capuano, that could be his final. Girardi was talking before the game, saying they'll see how he is while he's pitching and how he is the day after. And it wouldn't surprise you if he joined the rotation. Tanaka, it's 25 pitches off a mound, and I think there's got to be a little bit more build-up to get to the point where he could rejoin the team.
Here's Tim Beckham, 1 on 1 out, bottom of the 5th. The Yankees have a 5-1 lead. And Sabathia deals caught on and missed. George, this is tough to predict, but if Capuano comes back, think there's any thought of keeping Whitley and putting Warren in the bullpen?
Oh, that's got to be in the back of their mind. It's 2 plans, really. One of them is that, and one of them is sending Whitley back to AAA or putting him in a long relief role.
Here's the 0-1. Hit on the ground, double play, ball to short. Didi to Drew, on to first, double play. Well, George, it was a short stay, but yet a memorable one. 6-4-3 DP, no runs, one hit at the end of 5. 5-1 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
At Jeep, a big part of what we do is keeping you connected to nature. Enter the award-winning Jeep Cherokee, named the 2015 Four-Wheeler of the Year by Four Wheeler Magazine. With up to 31 mpg highway, you can get lost in the remote place of your choosing. But reaffirming your oneness with nature requires a bit of effort on your part, too. So the next time you're heading to work in your Jeep Cherokee, deliberately miss your exit and just keep on driving. One drive and you'll discover why Jeep brand continues to be the best-selling SUV brand. Join us now at the Jeep Drive and Discover event. Well-qualified returning FCA U.S. lessees get a low mileage lease in the 2015 Cherokee Latitude with 28 mpg highway for $199 a month for 36 months with $29.99 due at signing. Tax, title, and license extra. EPA estimated 4x2 with 2.4-liter engine based on total SUV sales for the past 12 months in the 2014 Awards Light Vehicle segment. Call 1-888-925-Jeep for details. Requires dealer contribution. Lease at Chrysler Capital. Lessee is responsible for lease termination fees. Current lease must end by 5/3/16. 25-cent charge for each model for 30,000 residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 6/1. Jeep is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
The best sports in town. Got it. Headlines that make headlines. You know it. Page 6. Obviously, of course, we're talking about the New York Post every day. The Post delivers a smart, hard-hitting look at New York and the people who power it. With news coverage of all 5 boroughs, bold editorial commentary, financial insight. Page 6. And, of course, the best sports in town. It's a hit with real fans of the city and the stories that shape it. News doesn't have to be boring to be news. Have the New York Post delivered to your door or find it every day in newsstands, online, and in the App Store.
Listen up, baseball fans, and listen to your craving. The one telling you to pick up some delicious Drake's Cakes. Stop by your local Stop and Shop to pick up a box of your favorite Drake's Cakes today.
It's Yankees baseball on Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM WFAN New York.
Now we go to the top of the 6th inning, and here is Chase Headley, who had the big blow in this game, a 3-run home run. Beltran and A-Rod had solo home runs, so that's 5 of the 5 Yankee runs. All 5. What am I talking about?
5 of the runs?
Headley takes a strike. 5-1 Yankees, top of the 6th. Headley's homer is 4th. He now has 13 ribbies. 3 infielders on the right side. And Colomé deals low outside, 1-1.
Scoreboard update is brought to you by Bigelow Family Tea Blender since 1945. Baltimore has a 3-1 lead now over Toronto. They're in Baltimore, bottom of the 5th. Marco Estrada and Ubaldo Jimenez going at that one.
1-1 line. There's a base hit to right center field. And boy, they hitting line drives off Colomé. One after the other, hard line drives. So Headley is on with the leadoff hit.
Milwaukee is shutting out the White Sox, and Jeff Samardzija. Score now is 6-0 Milwaukee. Jeff Samardzija in there for the Sox. Willie Peralta for Milwaukee. No score. Bottom of the 2nd inning. Kansas City is at Texas. Danny Duffy against Colby Lewis. Boston and Oakland start at 10 o'clock. Rick Porcello against Scott Kazmir.
Now here's Chris Young, who has popped up and singled to right. He and A-Rod, the only right-hand hitters in the lineup tonight. And Colomé deals pitch low, 1-0.
Pittsburgh leading Philadelphia 3-1, bottom of the 5th. Starling Marte is 8th homer of the year. Garrett Cole and Jerome Williams hooking up in that one. It is still raining in Cincinnati. Atlanta is in. Shelby Miller and Mike Leake are the scheduled pitchers if they play that game.
Now here's the 1-0 to Young. And the pitch in the dirt, blocked by Rivera. 2-0.
Cubs are leading the Mets 3-0, top of the 2nd. 3 runs in the bottom of the 1st by the Cubs. Jacob deGrom is pitching. John Lester for the Cubs. Chris Bryant, his 2nd homer of the year in the 1st inning, a 2-run shot in the 1st inning. And Anthony Rizzo, his 2nd. They were back-to-back. And you know what? Washington and Arizona, Miami, and the Dodgers are later. I think that might be Bryant's 1st home run at Wrigley Field. It is?
The 2-0 cut on him is, you know, one thing about Bryant, which is, I mean, obviously he's going to be a tremendous player. He's so young, and he walks all the time. He takes pitches. So, and that's a pretty good combination. Rizzo, a lefty hitter, and Bryant, a right-hand hitter in the middle of that lineup. Here, it'll be a 2-1 to Young. Headley at first, no one out, top of the 6th. Yanks with a 5-1 lead. And the right-hander Colomé deals, swung on and line, foul. Down the left field line, hit it hard, but foul.
You know, that's what we like so much about Aaron Judge at spring training. Big slugger, right fielder. He's at Double-A now. He walked a lot. He really did. He really had a great idea of the strike zone. And he's only 22. It's very rare when a young player is that disciplined.
You know, Bryce Harper, after all these years, is only 22 because he's also walking.
Yeah.
Well, you've heard about him since he was 16. That's why. It'll be a 2-2 to Young. 3 infielders on the left side. Headley a very short lead. And the 2-2. Swung on a high pop, foul off first. Loney gives it a long look and run with the ball's in the stands, and Loney went down hard, but he is okay. Running straight into the stands.
Yeah, he's trying to shake out his shoulders and his neck. Let's take a look at this again. Loney goes and he looks at the wall and he tries to go into the stands, and there's fans there, and he fell on his left shoulder, and he grabbed at his left shoulder, and the trainer is out, and Kevin Cash, you could see that didn't. When they saw it in the replay, he leaned in and fell on his left shoulder on the top of that. And you know what, John? That's that wall, and it's very much like the wall that Carlos Beltran went over last year. Remember, in right field?
Well, yeah, it's right.
Yep, exactly the same
down,
height.
Yeah.
Yep, he was never the same. But he's staying in. He's all right. That's going to hurt in a little while.
So it'll be a 2-2 to Young.
Trying to shake it out. Doing arm circles with that left arm, the shoulder.
Headley with a short lead. And it'll be a 2-2 to Chris. And the pitch hit hard, but foul outside of third. As Joe Espada started to duck. If I was there, I'd be a lot further behind the line that Joe is. So again, it'll be a 2-2. This is Colomé's 85th pitch. But even though they've hit a lot of line drives and 3 home runs, Tampa has not gotten a pitcher up in the bullpen. Now the 2-2 is cut on and missed.
You know, I would imagine with all these starters out, except when Archer pitches, they must go through this bullpen a lot. So they're probably trying to get as much mileage out of Colomé as they can.
I just saw that pitch again. That was a 2-seam fastball. That really moved in. That was a good pitch. Yeah, I guess you're right. And, you know, that's why I thought tonight was a very important game for the Yanks, because Archer has been, well, Archer is great against everybody, but he's really been great against the Yanks. Well, here is Drew with 1 on and 1 out. 3 infielders now on the right side. And Drew takes a pitch low. Your local Tri-State Audi dealers invite you to experience the uncompromised performance of the Audi A3 today, or visit anytime at tristateaudidealers.com. Here's the 1-0. Runner goes, pitches, taken. The throw to second base is in time. I bet somebody missed a sign. I almost can guarantee it.
Because he was a dead duck. Rivera has just a great arm. And he was going, so somebody missed a sign there. He was out by 2 feet.
So they're a 2-way, and now Drew with the count of 2-0. I figure someone missed a sign. The 2-0 swung on and line toward the gap in right center field. It is a base hit, and that ball will go all the way to the wall. Heading towards second is Drew with a double. So Drew rips every hit. Every hit has been a line drive. Really hard hit line drives. Now, by the way, I don't want to blame Drew, because maybe Headley saw a sign that wasn't there. I'm reading that great Bill Pennington book on Billy Martin, and someone got thrown out because Billy scratched his nose, which was a sign for a pitch out or a bunt or something, and he wasn't giving the sign. His nose itched. So that happens. Here is Didi with 2 outs and Drew at second, and the breaking ball is in for a strike on 1. Yankees have 10 hits on the day, 5 runs, 3 home runs, and Sabathia is pitching a 2-hitter, and one of those hits was a bloop. Now here is the 0-1, and the pitch low, and the count 1-1. Now the 1-1 to Didi is pop foul behind the plate, out of play, 1-2.
John, I noticed that Texas has jumped out to a 4-0 lead over Kansas City as they started. Kansas City, by the way, because of that wonderful game in Detroit last night, which had like an hour-and-a-half rain delay in the middle of it, they got to the hotel in Texas at 6 o'clock in the morning. So they might be dragging a little bit, the Kansas City Royals.
There is the 1-2 to Didi, with Drew leading off second, 2 outs. And the right-hander deals, hit on the ground to first, and it's foul. Just went foul. Loney was there. I thought the ball was going to hit the bag, but apparently just went foul outside the bag. So the count at 1-2. Now the right-hander is set. The 1-2. Just missed outside, 2-2. Now Colomé is set for the 2-2 to Didi. In the dirt, blocked by Rivera. Blocks a lot of pitches. And the count 3-2.
Yeah, they had signed Rivera, not obviously because of his offensive prowess. They wanted someone to handle this staff. They've always had very good defensive catchers here, because they've had such a great pitching staff year after year after year.
Drew off second. Here comes the payoff to Didi, and it's low ball 4. He walks. And that is the first walk by Colomé this year. Forget about in the game. He has 6 strikeouts, so now 16 strikeouts and just 1 little old walk. And here is Brett Gardner. Gardner 0 for 3. Beltran has 2 hits. A-Rod has 2 hits. Teixeira has 2 hits. Headley has 2 hits. So the Yankees have first and second 2 out for Gardy. Yankees giving Ellsbury the night off, and I'm sure at some point during this series you'll see Headley have a night off, or Teixeira have a night off, and Gardner himself. The pitch is outside. You would say, well, when a left-handed pitches, Murphy will play and McCann will have the night off. I'm sure McCann's going to get a night off. They don't have a lefty. Well, they don't have a lefty right now. They may make some changes. It'll be a 1-0 to Gardner. And the pitch low on the count 2-0.
Well, Headley's played in more games than anybody. 31 game. Ellsbury 30 right behind him. Ellsbury and Teixeira played in 30 games. Headley 31.
Well, now they're going to start the bullpen. A right-hander gets up. This will be the 98th pitch for Colomé. Drew at second, Didi at first, 2 outs.
Ernesto Frieri
Now warming the Rays bullpen.
is warming up for the Rays.
The 2-0 is hit in the air to deep center. Back goes Geyer, away back on the track near the wall. She's gone over the center field fence. Brett Gardner muscled up and hit one left of dead center over the center field wall. It is a 3-run home run. Gardner plants one in the center field area. Gardy goes yardy. He hits a 3-run home run, and the Yankees have broken it open. They lead 8-1.
Well, I know it was the obvious call. It was a 2-0 pitch, and he threw a fastball. He threw it right down the middle of the plate. My goodness, what a mistake. And I know you want to throw a strike, but...
And boy, every time he throws it down the middle, he gets really hurt.
It must be very straight. We can't obviously, but if it's 94 or whatever it is, it must be straight as a string.
I bet. I think you're right, too, in what we've seen. Here's Beltran. And he hits a ground ball to the second baseman on the outfield turf. And Beckham throws him out at first. For Gardner, his 3rd home run, and he now has 16 RBIs. Boy, Gardner really put a charge in that. So 3 runs on 3 hits, and no one left. And now the end of 5.5 innings of play. It's 8-1 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Rene Rivera takes a strike, the righty hitting catcher. That was CC's 64th pitch, so he's averaging just a little more than 12 pitches per inning, I mean.
Well, actually, he's also not throwing a lot of pitches. He's at 68 pitches, seems to be in control.
The 3-2, a high pop off the plate, first base side. McCann makes the catch right near the Tampa dugout. And there's one away.
Hey, look at what the Yankees have done. They got 11 hits. 6 innings.
Well, since the Yankees scored at least 6 runs tonight, they've scored 8. Papa John's is offering you 50% off your... Now the 2-2 is fouled back by Geyer. And the pitch is strike 3. Fastball inside corner. Caught Geyer looking. Strikeout number 6 for CC.
Yeah, he really just snuck that by him right on the inside corner of the plate. 89 miles an hour. It just fooled him. He just stood there.
Now 2-way. Here is Steven Souza.
You know, that was even a strike on the overhead camera.
Yeah. That was a great pitch right under the hands. Souza, another right-hand hitter, and he takes a pitch outside. Tomorrow night, Tampa throws their best pitcher by far, Chris Archer, right-hander, throws hard, throws strikes, and the Yankees will pitch Nathan Eovaldi. The 1-0 breaking ball is low, and the count 2-0.
And we said that Chris Archer pitches well against the Yankees. Would you like to hear how well?
Yes.
He is 5-0 with a 1.93 ERA and 6 starts.
The 2-0 cut on him, missed on a change. You know, I can't remember the games, but I know every time he pitches, the Yankees do absolutely nothing against him.
He's 2-0 here with an ERA of 1.98. I don't remember the Yankees scoring runs off him.
Yeah. And there's the 2-1. Teixeira will never get there. It's a base hit for Souza. It was a check swing Baltimore hop. You know, Sabathia's given up 3 hits. He gave up that one on a check wing Baltimore chop wide at first, and then the bloop to Cabrera. That's how well Sabathia has pitched. He's given up 1 authentic hit. So a 2-out single by Souza, and here is Longoria, who has flied out and grounded out. Yankees have an 8-1 lead here in the bottom of the 6th with 2 outs. And the pitch low outside, 1-0. Let's take 10-second station ID on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network.
Under 7 minutes to play, Hawks lead the Wizards 94-86. Tom Brady suspended 4 games for Deflategate. Steve Summers after the Yankees on WFAN and WFAN-FM New York.
But I guess if you're a Yankee fan, what you like about it is it's such a long stretch of games that, hey, maybe you're seeing something.
Well, I also think it's good because they're winning these games against the American League East. After Tampa, then they start a whole long stretch where you're not going to see the American League East for a while.
You know, it's funny how the schedule was put together this year. You're right. All we're playing is Baltimore, Toronto, Boston, Tampa.
And Tampa.
Repeatedly.
Right. And now this is it. And then Kansas City, and then the interleague starts, and Texas is in, and then the Yankees go to the coast.
It'll be a 2-2 to Longoria. Strike 3 inside corner. The same spot he caught Souza looking. That's the 7th strikeout for Sabathia, and he is pitching brilliantly. Remember, he's given up 3 hits. One was a bloop, and one was a check swing Baltimore chop. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. And now at the end of 6 innings of play, it's 8-1 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
And 1019 FM, WFAN, New York.
Well, the new pitcher for the Rays is the right-hander Ernesto Frieri.
And Frieri will face A-Rod. Breaking ball is a strike. Alex has homered, struck out, and singled. The Yankees have an 8-1 lead. Well, I know part of the story. Pitch kind of missed. The 4 homers the Yankees have hit, you can't ignore them. But really the story for the Yanks is Sabathia, who's been utterly brilliant. And one thing I have meant to say, and I keep forgetting it all the time, as A-Rod stands in, you can see it straight ahead. There'll be an 0-2. Half swing. He struck him out. Brandon Guyer, the center fielder, plays the deepest center field I've ever seen, and he's an athlete. And it isn't like he's out of position. Boy, does he play deep. Everything is no doubles defense. I just noticed it because I'm looking at A-Rod straight ahead out in center field is Guyer. I'll give you Colome's numbers. The pitch to Teixeira is a little low ball 1. 8-1 Yankees, top of the 7th, 1 out, no one on. And the 1-0. Swung on and lined to left center field. It's a base hit. It's going to go by Butler and all the way to the wall. And Teixeira will go to second with a double.
And Teixeira really hitting the ball very hard tonight. He's really come on, no more home runs, but that get 3 hits tonight gets that average up a bit. Be at the stadium Sunday, May 24th, when the Yanks celebrate the career of 4-time world champ Bernie Williams. Prior to the game, with a special ceremony, they'll retire his number 51 and dedicate a plaque in Monument Park. For tickets, visit Yankees.com today.
The numbers on Colome: 6 innings, 8 runs, 11 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 1 walk. And if you were giving a little scouting report on Colome, very good arm, but not very good control in the strike zone, because when he got hit, the ball was right in the middle all the time. And as Susan said, pitch. McCann pops a foul out of play. And if you checked with the players, I bet they say the same thing. The ball was straight. That's a bad combination. Straight and in the middle of the plate. No, he gave up really hard hits. McCann is one Yankee without a hit. He and Didi are the only ones without a hit. Teixeira off second with one out. And it'll be a 1-0 to McCann. And the right-hander Frieri deals. Backdoor breaking ball. Missed. And the count 1-1. Now the 1-1 is low in the dirt and again blocked beautifully by Rivera. He not only blocks him, he scoops him too. Now McCann ahead on the count 2-1. The seventh inning sponsored by Tri-State Ford. Ford vehicles have it all. Great design, intelligent features, all at a price that won't break the bank. Lined hard. There's a base hit to right field. Teixeira to third. They'll hold him on the strong arm by Souza. And also the fact that the ball was hit so hard. Every hit is a hard line drive. So McCann gets a hit. And the only one who doesn't now is Didi. Now let me do the Ford spot all over again because I think it's incumbent upon me to do that. The seventh inning sponsored by Tri-State Ford. Ford vehicles have it all. Great design, intelligent features, all at a price that won't break the bank. See why they're the total package at your local Ford dealer now, or visit us at tristateford.com. Here's Headley, who had a 3-run home run tonight, homered and single, and the pitch is outside 1-0. The Yankees have rung up 13 hits. And I mean every single one of them has been hit hard, including 4 home runs. Teixeira off third, McCann off first. And the pitch outside of Headley. Sinker in the count 2-0. McCann, of course, no threat to run, so Loney with the left-hand hitter up plays behind McCann. And then when the pitch comes, he kind of backs up. Here's the 2-0. Foul back, 2-1. Now the right-hander is set. Here's the 2-1. Swung on a high fly to left. Should get the run in. Butler is there to make the catch. Teixeira tags and scores. It's a sac fly and an RBI for Headley. That's the first run scored by the Yankees without aid of a home run tonight. That's their 9th run. They have a 9-1 lead.
And a terrific night for Headley, who was making jokes about his hitting lately. 4 RBIs, 3-run homer, a single, and a sac fly right there.
You know, come to think of it, Susan, when we look at that Susan star, you have a lot of candidates.
A lot of candidates. At least 3 that I can think of right off the bat.
So here's Chris Young with 2 outs and a runner at first. That's McCann. The Yanks have a 9-1 lead. And the pitch is a strike.
Interestingly enough, Frieri, who threw nothing but fastballs and sliders for a long time, is throwing slider change.
Pitch a strike to Young, 0-2.
And when he's throwing the fastballs, when he's gotten hit.
Thank you, Susan. The pitch is just missed, and the count 1-2.
Star of the game. So many stars, so little time.
Right. The pitch is swung on and hit in the air to deep left. Butler going back. He's on the track near the wall and makes the catch to end the inning. For the Yankees, they get 1 run on 2 hits and leave 1. And now at the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's 9-1 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Brewed cup of 8 o'clock coffee.
Well, CC Sabathia is back for the bottom of the 7th with the score 9-1. He'll face Logan Forsythe, Joey Butler, and James Loney.
And Forsythe takes a pitch low. As I mentioned, CC walked the first 2 men. It didn't come close. Then he gave up a hit for a run, and since then he has been brilliant. He's given up 2 more hits, both really fluky hits, a bloop and a Baltimore chop. Forsythe takes outside 2-0.
The 7th inning stretch is brought to you by your Tri-State BMW Centers. BMW, we only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine.
Now the 2-0 swung on and drilled to deep left. That's out. That ball is gone. Logan Forsythe drills into the seats in left. And the Yankee lead is 9-2.
Well, 2-0 pitch, and he came in. See, that his 9-1 lead. He had a 2-0 pitch. He came in with a strike. It was a fastball right down the middle. Logan Forsythe, once again, he's got both RBIs, the home run here and the RBI double in the first inning. And this is no fluke that Forsythe, of all people, is your DH in batting cleanup.
So here is Joey Butler. Yankee bullpen is quiet. Tampa's bullpen is alive. And the pitch is hit high in the air to right. Going back is Beltran on the track. Looking up. She's gone. Back-to-back home runs on back-to-back pitches. Joey Butler hit one down in right field. And the Yankee lead is 9-3. So Butler and Forsythe back-to-back. And a belly-to-belly on back-to-back pitches.
And again, fastball right down the middle of the plate, his second homer of the season for Joey Butler. You know, I imagine, you want to throw strikes. You got to
back-to-back home run.
You have a 9-1 lead. You want to throw strikes.
The other time was April 17th. Also here.
Here's James Loney.
And
there's a strike. And you know what? The Yankee bullpen begins immediately. And there's David Carpenter, right-hander. And the 0-1 is low in the count, 1-1.
Well, a little information on another subject we touched about with George King. Chris Capuano is going to throw tomorrow in Scranton. He's going to pitch.
1-1, breaking ball cut on and missed.
And Joe Girardi did say to the reporters before the game, that could be it. That might be all he needs before he'll be back. So if he pitches tomorrow and does well, 5 days, Capuano will be with the team, I would think.
Well, we'll see how he pitches and I guess how he feels afterwards. But 1-2, breaking ball, strike 3. Beautiful breaking ball. CC.
Number 13, Asdrubal Cabrera.
Number 29, David Carpenter.
Gets his 8th strikeout. 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. And here is Cabrera, who is 1 for 2. He had the bloop just over first. Little bloop to right for a hit. It's 9-3 Yanks. We're in the bottom of the 7th. 1 out, no one on. Cabrera hits a ground ball foul outside of third. The Power Report tonight brought to you by Indian Point Energy Center, the region's most reliable source of electric power. A lot of power for the Yankees tonight. And the 0-1. There's a strike back to a breaking ball. Headley a 3-run home run. Gardner a 3-run home run. A-Rod a solo homer. Beltran a solo homer. And here in this inning, back-to-back home runs by Forsythe and Butler. 6 homers in the game. The 0-2 is line to right field. It's a base hit. It's toward the gap. Rounding first is Cabrera, and he heads towards second. Ball came off the wall and was fumbled, and on to third goes Cabrera. It was a line drive just out of Drew's reach, but on the carpet, it went zooming to the wall, and it came off. I was looking at the play. I think Young fumbled it out in the outfield.
Yeah, Young didn't play that all that well off of the wall. We'll take a look at that again. Drew really dove for that, almost got it. He was about 3 inches too short, and the ball just kept rolling and not played that well by Young. Oh, we saw it again. Young overran the ball. The ball stopped dead on the carpet, and Young just kept going. Had to turn around and come back and get it.
Double. Cabrera advances to third.
Well,
and they do score it properly. It's a double and an E8. So Cabrera third with one. Yankees put the infield back. They don't care about the run. They have a 9-3 lead. And here is the right-handed infielder, Tim Beckham, with a count of 1-0. And the pitch low on the count 2-0. So all those home runs, the power and the power report is brought to you by Indian Point Energy Center. Now the 2-0 to Beckham. A high fly to right. Beltran cutting toward the line in the corner, makes the catch. Tagging and scoring is Cabrera. It's a sac fly and an RBI for Beckham, and the Yankee lead is 9-4.
Number 44, Rene Rivera.
Now here is the catcher, Rene Rivera. 0 for 2 on the night. And Sabathia deals a breaking ball strike. Let's see here. Oh, this one is going to be the 100th pitch. I would say that Sabathia will be lifted after this inning. They hope he gets Rivera. Here's the 0-1. The backdoor breaking ball outside. So he's at 100 pitches. And he has a 9-4 lead with 2 outs in the 7th. Here is the 1-1. It's outside 2-1.
And Erasmo Ramirez is warming up for the Rays. He has started a couple of games for them. They're back in the bullpen.
And they had rumored that he would start Thursday. What right now is a TBA for Tampa, so it won't be him. But they may bring someone up. You don't know. That'll be a 2-1 to the right-hand hitting Rivera. And he pops it foul back, 2-2.
Well, it'd be nice for CeCe for a lot of reasons to just get through this. 7 innings. He pitched very well till this last inning. Did his job to get his first win. Hopefully that happens for him. Then you can go to the pen. You only have a couple of innings to fill. Only 2 innings to fill after this.
Here's the 2-2. Grounded foul outside of third. And you know they want, obviously, for whoever comes in, Carpenter, Wilson, whoever comes in, so they could give a night off to the 2 big guys.
Absolutely. If you want to do a combination of Carpenter, who's up now, Carpenter and Shreve, if you need a lefty, since Joe seems to be going to Justin Wilson in bigger situations.
The 2-2 just missed inside, the count 3-2.
And you do have to get the other guys that are in the pen work so that they will be sharp. You know, it's hard for anybody to sit there for a week and not be used. So this would be a good opportunity.
The 3-2 struck him out swinging. 9 strikeouts for CeCe. 3 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, no one left. Now the end of 7 innings of play. It's 9-4 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
66 and 101.9 FM WFAN New York.
Second baseman,
Now we go to the top of the 8th inning. New pitcher, right-hander Erasmo Ramirez, 0-1 with a lofty ERA of 13.96, pitched 10 innings, and given up 19 hits in the 10 innings. Frieri goes an inning, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 strikeout, no walk. A 9-4 lead, and the pitch is grounded in the infield. Longoria fields and flips underhand to first on Drew. So it goes 5-3. Longoria was on the
5-3.
First base side, of course. However, it does go 5-3. One away. Well, the crowd tonight is the lowest crowd that I can remember. As I was kidding with Jack Maldonado. Boy, it was like the old days.
What is it?
The crowd is 10,000.
Oh, my.
619.
For a Yankee game?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
And as we say tomorrow in Tampa, the Lightning play Montreal in a do-or-die game. Pitch is a strike. I know Tampa has a 3-2 lead, but they lose that, they got to go back to Montreal. So it's a very big game for the Lightning. Didi is the only Yankee without a hit. 0 for 2 with a walk and takes low. He did score a run.
Scoreboard update brought to you by Astoria Bank.
Now here's the 1-2 to Didi. And he struck him out, swinging 2-away.
Pittsburgh leading Philadelphia 4-2. There in the 8th inning. Garrett Cole still in there for Pittsburgh. Philadelphia, Jerome Williams went 5. Cincinnati, they did start after a couple hours rain delay, I guess, or an hour and a half. Cincinnati now leading Atlanta 1-0, bottom of the 2nd. Shelby Miller against Mike Leake. Cubs lead the Mets 4-1, top of the 4th.
Now here is the pitch to Gardner, and the pitch high.
Top of the 5th, excuse me. Jacob deGrom against John Lester. Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo had back-to-back homers. Washington and Arizona, and Miami and the Dodgers later.
Gardner takes a strike. Gardner 1 for 4, but the one of Biggie, a 3-run home run to dead center. A long home run. 1 of 4 the Yankees have hit tonight. 2 outs, no one on, top of the 8th. 9-4 Yanks, the 1-1. Swung on, a fly ball to left center. Geyer on the run, makes the catch, ends the inning. Yankees down 1-2-3. And at the end of 7.5, 9-4 Yanks. On the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Your local Tri-State Audi dealers invite you to experience the uncompromised performance of the Audi A3 today, or visit anytime at TriStateAudiDealers.com.
10-second station ID on the New York Yankees radio network.
Hawks beat the Wizards 106-101. Series tied at 2. Patriots give up draft picks. Tom Brady suspended 4 games for Deflategate. Steve Summers after the Yankees on WFAN New York.
John Sterling, Susan Waldman back at Tropicana. David Carpenter comes on to pick up the pitching cudgels. CeCe, 7 innings, 4 runs, 6 hits, 9 strikeouts, 2 walks. And here's the top of the order for the Rays. The Yankees, and this is such an obvious thing, but I guess you have to say it anyway, pitch is low. The Yankees want desperately for Carpenter and whoever pitches the 9th, if it's not Carpenter, to pitch well so they don't have to use the 2 big guys. Give them another day off. Here is the 1-0, and there's a strike. Geyer has walked and struck out twice.
And the last time David Carpenter was in, that did not happen. And they had to get Miller up, and he had to come in. So, and you know Carpenter wants to do his job here.
And he probably hits Geyer either in the hip or maybe the backside. So Geyer trots to first.
Well, let's take a look at this again. That was on the hip, on the left hip. He really has, and that wasn't even close. He really has trouble with control.
Here's right-hand hitting Steven Souza on the pitch is low outside. The 8th inning brought to you by Kubota Tractors. You can find them at Arrow Throw over. He throws the ball away. Wild throw On to second goes Geyer. That takes away the double play. So Geyer's at second on an E1.
Geyer advances to second, E1.
Well, it bounced it on the second base side of first base. Teixeira had no shot to get that.
It'll be a 2-2 to Souza. Swung on and ripped to center field. On the run is Young to make the catch. He got a great jump and caught it in left center. One away. No, I think they do it so that it sounds exciting, so that it sounds like, boy, are we having fun.
That's exactly right. I think this all started. Remember when they first started doing this in basketball? And years ago, the first place I noticed it was in Cleveland, where it had to be like we're having a party. We're not watching basketball anymore.
Well, there's one away, and here is Longoria. And Carpenter deals. Cut on him. It's not a slider.
What I want to know is, if they stopped the noise, do they think that people wouldn't know when to clap? When they were...
Strike 3 is called. Oh, Longoria didn't like that. Because he didn't like the last strikeout. Right. But he didn't say anything. He gesticulated with his bat, but...
Let's take a look. He thought that was low.
And Susan?
He had a point.
That was low.
Yeah, that was, oh my, yeah. He had a point.
I had noticed this about Eric Cooper. He is calling low strikes, and that was really low. That was about somewhere between the shin and the ankle. Well, two-way, here's Forsythe, and there's a strike. Forsythe has doubled in a run, flied out, and homered.
See, if we were at home, we would say on this night, the Deagle will be empty. The Deagle will be wide open.
Well, tonight we'll say the Howard Franklin. It'll be an 0-1. Man, the pitch low on the count 1-1.
I don't know. I find an empty ballpark, any kind of ballpark, very sad. It makes me very unhappy when I see empty ballparks. Even this one.
Now here's the 1-1. And the pitch missed outside to Forsythe, 2-1. You know, Archer, of course, we're going to do this tomorrow night, who's pitching against the Yanks and pitches so brilliantly. And this year has an ERA of 2.59. The 2-1 strike. He has an ERA of 2.59. His record is 3-4.
He actually has had a couple of really bad games. And let's see if they have them in the notes. I remember looking. I remember we talked about one of them, saying, "Look what's happening to Chris Archer."
Brandon Geyer leads off second with 2 out, and Carpenter ready to deal 2-2. Line hard to left field's a base hit. Geyer will score. It's a base hit and an RBI for Forsythe. His third hit, his third RBI, and the Yankee lead is 9-5. And one thing you have to say about when it's a 4-run lead, that means that the other team, in this case Tampa, if they load the bases, they send up the tying run. You know, you can't hit the old 5-run home run, but you can hit a grand slam.
Just finish up with Archer, John. He's 0-2 with an ERA of 8.68 in his last 2 starts in May. He's already issued more walks in May than he did in April.
So the Yankee lead, once 9-1, is down to 9-5. Here's right-hand hitting Joey Butler, and he takes a slider outside. The bottom of the 8th, and the 2-2 swung on and line toward the gap in right center. On the run is Young. He makes a nice running catch. That ball was hit right on the nose. 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 left. And also 1 error. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. And now, at the end of 8 innings of play, 9-5 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by
1019 FM WFAN New York.
Now, to the 9th, Ramirez is still in, and he deals, and Beltran lines it foul down the left field line. Carlos struck out, singled, homered, and grounded out.
Today's game attendance, 10,619. Game attendance brought to you by New York Community Bank and the NYCB family of banks.
0-1 is low. You know, it doesn't take much to get your average up. First of all, at this time, if you get some base hits. You know that I just looked on the monitor. Yeah, Beltran's at 221. There is the 1-1. Swung on and fouled, third base side out of play. And that's all accomplished, I guess, in the last 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, 11 points today. Came in at 210.
Beltran swings and misses, high fastball, 1 away.
That's 9 strikeouts tonight for Rays pitchers. Just 1 more, and everyone wins a great 16 sub from Subway, courtesy of Haynes Furniture.
Here's A-Rod with 1 out and no one on. Alex has homered, struck out, singled, and struck out. And he gets hit. He got hit, I think, on the elbow. So A-Rod trots to first base. Now, was he hit because the Yankees have hit a batter? Who knows? Let's look at the pitch.
Well, let's see. He got hit right on the elbow, right above the elbow. Could be. He seemed to be the retaliatory person last time. And Baltimore hit him.
Now here's Teixeira, and the pitch is a strike. A-Rod steals second.
Round of applause for that stolen base.
And you can't call it defensive indifference because the Yankees are winning.
No, he got a stolen base.
And Teixeira swings and lifts a high fly to left. Butler back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. She's gone. Mark Teixeira goes the other way for a 2-run home run. Mark sends a text message to the left field seats. You're on the mark, Teixeira. A 2-run blast. The Yankees' 5th home run of the night, and the Yankees have an 11-5 lead.
Right, so Mark Teixeira tonight has a 2-run homer, a double, and 2 singles, and 2 runs scored.
Also, stolen base number 1 of the season for A-Rod.
Well, Susan, as I told you a few innings ago,
yeah,
you have your choice of stars. 5 different Yankees have hit home runs. I mean, that's pretty good. Now here's McCann, and the pitch high.
See, that's why they cheered when Alex stored the base. There's nothing left here but Yankee fans.
Good point. Pitch is inside. Beltran, A-Rod, Teixeira, Headley, and Gardner. 5 of the 9 have homered. Big night for the Yanks. The pitch. Line on 1 hop to deep second, and the throw to first is in time by Beckham. Beckham is way out in the outfield grass and was able to throw out McCann 2 away.
Well, that's some arm from there. He's in sort of shallow right field. Loney had to really stretch to get that.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. Headley takes a pitch high.
Really good to see Headley get out of his slump.
A ground ball toward the middle. Grabbed by Cabrera, who throws him out. to end the inning. And by the way, there's a right-hander warming up for the Yankees, so we'll see who comes out for the bottom of the ninth. But in the inning, A-Rod gets hit, steals a base, and then Teixeira hits a 2-run home run. For Teixeira, his 11th homer, he has 27 RBIs. 2 runs, 1 hit, no one left. End of 8.5. It's 11-5 Yanks on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
50 in-store mattress galleries. Visit PCRichard.com/mattress for our mattress gallery near you.
The Yankee new pitcher, I said a right-hander was up. They sit Justin Wilson down, and they bring in Brandon Pinder, who just came back to the Yankees. Excuse me. Now here's left-hand hitting James Loney, bottom of the ninth. 11-5 Yanks, and the pitch is pop foul, third base side, out of play. Loney 0 for 3 on the night. It'll be an 0-1 to Pinder, to Loney, and Pinder deals a breaking ball low in the count 1-1. Yanks with an 11-5 lead, and 5 different Yankees have hit home runs. It's like an old-time Yankee game. And here's the 1-1 to Loney, breaking ball low, 2-1. Stay tuned following the game for the Agera Energy Yankees postgame show. Agera Energy, the next generation of energy efficiency, demand management, and retail energy supply. The 2-1 line, but right to Didi. Now, Didi was playing behind second, and that's where the line drive went. In any other year, that's a base hit. But they had shortstop. Didi was playing maybe a step on the shortstop side, but the ball went right at him, 1 away. So 1 down. Here is Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera is 2 for 3. 3 infielders on the right side, and there is a strike. And the way the Yankees play it, Headley remains. He doesn't transfer, so it's Didi, Drew, and Teixeira from second base to first base. Yankees lead 11-5. They're 2 outs away. And there's the 0-1. Cut on him. And the count 0-2. Gardner, Beltran, A-Rod, Teixeira. The top 4 batters in the lineup have homered. And then you skip 1 batter, and then Headley, the 6th batter. So those 5 have hit home runs for the Yanks. Sabathia is going to get his first win of the year, and it'll be an 0-2. He struck him out swinging 2 away. 10-second station ID on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep.
Hawks beat the Wizards to even that series at 2. Warriors lead the Grizzlies 18-16. Steve Summers follows the Yankees on WFAN and WFAN-FM New York.
John Sterling, Susan Waldman back at Tropicana. Yankees are 1 out away. They have an 11-5 lead, 2 outs, no one on, bottom of the ninth. Tim Beckham will be the hitter. Yankee pitching has struck out 11 men. Sabathia struck out 9. Beckham is a right-hand hitter. Ran the pitch, sinker low, 1-0. Now the 1-0 to Beckham. Swung on a high fly to left. This should do it. Gardner going back toward the line. He's there, and the ball hit something. Now the ball hit something. Hit one of the catwalks. And it's an out. Isn't that great? I tell you this. It's not baseball, but it's something else. But anyway, The ball hit a catwalk. It is out. And that's anticlimactically how the game. Oh, Didi caught the ball, huh? So Didi, I was looking at Gardner all the time. It hit off the catwalk, and Didi caught it. That's why the game is over. What a weird way, but it is a weird place, so that should have a weird way to end the game. And the Yankees have won it 11-5. So the ball was in play off that catwalk, and it was caught by Didi. Weird, huh? Yankees win at 11-5. We're going to keep it here for Susan. In the inning, 3 up and 3 down. So I'll give you a ball game over Yankees win. And Susan's star of the game is sponsored by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. On the web at searchmercedes.com. And right outside the Yankee dugout, here is Susan Waldman.
Okay, John, a lot to choose from. Star of the game is Chase Headley. John, we'll throw back up to you.
Hi, thank you, Susan. Yankees win the ball game by the score of 11-5, and we'll get back with the totals in a moment. Here on the WFAN New York Yankees radio network, driven by Jeep. Well, tonight the Yankees hit 5 home runs, and they beat up on Tampa 11-5. And the Yankees are now 21-12, and since that awful beginning, they are 18-6. And I wish it to them that they play 750 ball the rest of the year. I don't think so. But anyway, the Yankees are in a great stretch, and CC wins his first game, so all is right in the Yankee world tonight. Here are the totals. For the Yanks, 11 runs, 14 hits, 2 errors. They left 4. And for Tampa, 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They left 3. CC Sabathia, the winner, he's 1-5. And Alex Colomé, the loser, is 2-1. With the victory, the Yankees are 21-12, and they increase their first place lead to 4 games over the Rays, and Tampa is now 17-16. The time of the game, 2 hours and 48 minutes. Before the game, Sweeney Murdy predicted the game would be 2:49. Well, you're wrong by 1 minute. You should be whipped and beaten. And and the attendance tonight is 10,619. And once again, the final score, the Yankees 11 and Tampa 5. New York Yankees baseball is a production of Sports Radio 66 and 101.9 FM WFAN in conjunction with the New York Yankees. Studio operations by Casey Keefe and Greg Schneider. Producer engineer in the booth is Jack Candy Maldonado. Executive producer is Dove Kramer. Coordinating producer Vicky Biello. Production